Alright, so we're briefly going to talk about my finds from the record show. It was a little bit of a different vibe in there today. Some of the vendors didn't show. I don't know if it was because of the heat or the fact that the show is now on Saturday instead of Sunday. It's hard to say. Could have just been a fluke, but the show was a bit smaller and there wasn't quite as many people there. I was hoping to find way more CTI stuff, but it didn't happen. That said, I did get some pretty cool things. I broke a few of my rules. We'll get into that here in a minute. You might have noticed at the end of the video, I grabbed 3 records. Grover Washington Jr.'s Soul Box on Kudu. Yeah, this is Kudu 1213. Now, we all know that Kudu is basically CTI. It's like a sister label. This is a great sounding release on Kudu. Grover Washington Jr., burning sax player. A little smooth, but you know, I'm a fan of Grover Washington Jr. There's some covers on this. Trouble Man, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. This sounds really great. It's a 2 LP set. Now, the big problem with this Soul Box is the box is usually in terrible shape. It was released in 2 single jacket volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. If you can find those, I would suggest getting them because this box is always thrashed. Plus, you got to find like a special sleeve for the box and all that. That said, the cover's really cool. The Kudu label, very cool. Let me pull one out here. Right here, yeah. Pretty clean stuff overall. The records themselves are very nice. The box is just a little blasted. Next, you might have seen me grab this super smoking record, actually. Joe Farrell, Moon Germs, with Herbie Hancock, Stanley Clarke, and, yes, Jack DeJohnette. Now, I was so excited to find the 2 Joe Farrell records that I've been looking for that I overlooked the fact that the covers aren't in that great a shape. I pulled the records out and inspected those very closely. The records are really nice. The jackets, not so much. Bit of Sharpie down in here. This is a later pressing. This is a 79 pressing. I believe the record came out in, say, 75. So the eyeball is in a different location. It's usually like right in the middle here. That said, this is a smoking funky record, and these dudes are going hard on this record. There's a lot of shredding on here, some light shredding, I would say, from Herbie, Jack, Stanley. I mean, already, just with those players, you know you're going to get a lot of virtuosity, a lot of movement in the music. Jack, he's just going at it the whole time. Anything that Herbie is on, you know I'm going to buy. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, you know I'm a huge Herbie Hancock fan, and I have been looking for Moon Germs. This is probably not my exit copy. If I see a better one earlier, better jacket, yeah, I'll probably pick it up. For now, this nice piece of vinyl right here will suffice on your typical CTI label. Really happy to get that. I did show this one, Farrell and Benson and Farrell rather. I already had it, so there was no need to buy it. Another one I would recommend is Joe Farrell, Upon This Rock. This also has Herbie on it, and Joe Beck is on here stealing the show. If you don't know, Joe Beck is a guitarist that was on CTI. He has 1 record, and he's on this playing some psychedelic fuzz guitar that is out of this world. If you see this record, definitely pick it up. As far as totally burning Joe Farrell records, I would say this one right here. Elvin Jones, Chick Corea, Buster Williams, and Joe Farrell, Outback. This is a badass record. Man, this thing sounds amazing. Now, this one does have quite a bit of ring wear and some Sharpie on here. The vinyl is very clean, but you know, I would suggest buying the cleanest copies you can. They're not that expensive. I paid about $35 for the Soul box and the 2 Joe Farrell records, I kind of overpaid a little bit. I was about to walk with nothing, so I wanted to at least get some records at the show. I grabbed these, didn't really inspect the covers too well, and it plays great. It's beautiful vinyl, but the jackets are not as clean as I would like them to be. That said, obviously, Joe's playing a lot of flute on here, so be warned, it can get, from his end of the spectrum, it gets a little smooth.
You play jazz flute?
I dabble.
Thank goodness the other guys are incredibly funky and in fact on another level of playing sophistication, feel, vibe, and yes, funkiness. Joe Farrell's Outback. All right, let's get into the non-cti pickups real quick. There are only 2. As soon as I walked in, Jeffrey Lee Puckett handed me this one, that Healin' Feelin', the United States of Mind, Phase 1, the Horace Silver Quintet. Has a striking cover. Pretty cool record from Horace Silver. Be warned, it's a bit of a vocal record. Yeah, there are 2 vocalists on this, male and female. It's okay. It's kind of a funky little affair. Super clean, near mint condition, vinyl and jacket. $15. Hashtag no blue note left behind. And last but not least, as I was walking out the door, I saw my good friend John, who usually has a lot of killer jazz, but he always sets up in the foyer of the record show. He wasn't there when I walked in, and so who knows what he actually had. But he had one record that I was dying to have. Paid $30 for this. Pretty good deal, I would say. And a record I've been looking for. So, on the Blue Note label, this is a blue label with the white B. Yep. Bobby Hutcherson Dialogue. Yes. Has Freddie Hubbard. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Freddie Hubbard. Sam Rivers, Andrew Hill, Richard Davis, and Joe Chambers. Needless to say, this record can get kind of outside. It's a bit free. It's a bit avant-garde. We're doing some setup for our next recording down the hall here, and I was playing this and the drummer says, "Oh, when are they going to stop tuning?" I said, they've been done tuning for quite some time, sir. Anyway, that said, this is a smoking record. It is a must-have in the Bobby Hutcherson catalog. Of course, you have to have happenings, yeah, and if you don't have an OG, you can always get the Tone Poet stick up, yeah. So that was a very successful score right there. This is super clean. Let me just pop it out. Why not? Yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, I didn't find the CTI that I was looking for, but I did get a little stack of records. Spent less than $100. I still have some cash in my pocket, and I got a couple of the titles that I really enjoy. So that is what the goal is, right? That said, going online, eBay, Discogs, and things of that nature might be a better avenue for finding CTI records, because they're you might pay a few dollars more online, but you'll at least have a selection of copies to choose from, not just the one that you find. So, lesson learned there a little bit. The search continues until we meet again. Bob out.